Good day, fellow Fae. Welcome back to Wood Dweller's Domain. I am the one and only Wood Dweller. Thank you so very much for stopping by my neck of the woods today. Today I'm not looking very Wood Dweller-esque. I did take pictures earlier and I tried to do a video, but it just didn't work out for the video. So yeah, I am very thankful to be here in front of you today. First and foremost, I wasn't going to make any videos until I received my grant because I wanted to update some of the equipment behind the scenes, kind of to help me be able to produce videos better for this channel. But I couldn't help it. I thought right now was the perfect time to do so. It's been on my mind for a while, and I wanted to talk about the concept of my blackness, and my blackness being a spectrum in my own community. The craziest concept that I ever thought that I would bring about. It's like the craziest concept that I thought never existed, or maybe I didn't want it to exist, but I think right now is a perfect time to talk about it. Since the beginning of my time on my journey of life, I have been introduced to many projections from other people. People projecting their feelings, their ideas, the things that they believe that I should be doing. I can remember as early as childhood, family members projecting onto me just different things happening to where it's like you can't even fully grow into yourself yet because you're so worried about what other people are gonna say. And society being those other people, as including ourselves, having that say. And I think that's where a lot of people are very uncertain of themselves, and then a lot of people actually are. So it kind of can go left or right with that, but I think specifically what caused me to bring this up in video and like take time aside to record it. I didn't plan to record it today. I just did makeup because I was sad. I started doing makeup because it made me happy. I am an ex-theater kid. I took theater very briefly, was obsessed with theater. I wanted to go to the Performing Arts Center, Bloomingdale, in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was just, in my head, I wanted to be different characters. I liked it because it made me feel not only a sense of just being able to adapt, but it gave me a break from the reality that I was living several times over. I have been receiving comments underneath different, technically underneath posts, like a few of comments that I've made on different, oh my god, some of them have come from Facebook. So like it was underneath a post about this is all black women's fault, because there's this particular little girl who's underage who's dancing inappropriately, and the women that are in that, I think, video are like encouraging her. And I was like, wait, how is this all black women's fault? I don't even know these people. And I almost started putting information like, hey, you know, I've helped with children before. Like I was working with children since I was a teenager. because I had a family member with a business that worked with kids, and I was always there to help. I was helping with my siblings growing up. I have children of my own. I was around children for a long time, and the thing in my family is that I've had people in my family say, "Oh, we're gonna bring the kids to you." Like they'll always ask me to babysit. Sometimes not so much. With I usually try to get my niece over more, so that the cousins can have a better relationship. But other family members have joked, "Oh, I'm gonna send my kids over to you, and you could just homeschool them too, and do this and do that." Like they would constantly say those things, which is why I know I'm good with children. I am such a nurturing spirit. I think where that came from specifically was because I wasn't as nurtured when I was younger. And I remember looking at certain adults and kind of like wishing that I had family family like those people that I saw. In my head, I made up who my family was. So I used to say I wanted Erica Badu to be my mom. I would say Jimi Hendrix was my grandfather. Like I would make up things in my head as a kid because I just wanted people who were level-headed, earthy, talented, artistic to be in my surroundings because I didn't really have that much. And the only person that I did have growing up, they ended up throwing that artistic, creative side away for the socially acceptable route, and that's another conversation for another day. But gosh, I still have pain so bad. I do have a doctor's appointment coming up, so that's good. But the comment that I get underneath that post where I'm like, "Hey, I don't even know these people. Like, how is it all of Black women's fault?" And it's so easy to put a group of people in the same category. And the reason it's so easy is because I see proof of it every day online, in person, the way that I get racially profiled. I could be minding my business, and that doesn't mean that people are not going to project onto me racially or just because of my gender, anything, my age. Age used to happen more like when I was younger. Now it's different. I think because I appear older and more mature and I'm not like wet behind the ears, obviously, but people do it constantly. They project constantly. So I don't know, this guy gets underneath the comment that I made. It wasn't the guy that posted the video, it was someone else. And he just starts ripping me to shreds in his own, like in his mind, he's ripping me to shreds. He begins to state some really weird stuff. Like, I think he went on my actual page and looked me up, maybe. I think, like, looked at whatever pictures he could find. And he starts talking to me about my style. And he's calling me out and saying, you're not going to get validation from them. They don't care if you're insane. He called me insane clown posse, which was kind of funny. I totally get it. Oh God, I am not insane clown posse, although I remember when they did come out with a song. I think I was in high school, and some kids that I knew, kind of like that I've known because we were somewhat in close proximity, and they were also goth and punk and stuff. They were talking about it, and an older person, I think he was a senior, he was gonna go to like the show, and all of us like juniors, sophomores, I don't know, we were younger, but we were listening to him preparing for the show and stuff, which we thought was cool. But that was about it. And I would jokingly say woo woo like a few times, but that's it. I mean, as a teen, I did drink Faygo, and it was kind of like this little thing, but it wasn't like fully immersing myself into it. I never went to go see them. I don't support them. I do know their songs and their sound by ear, but it's kind of just because it's been like a close proximity thing, not like, oh, I'm in this. But I don't know. He starts talking about the fact that I'm emo and goth and, you know, that elven clown, insane clown posse, they're still not going to accept you, and all that other pro-black stuff that you post on your page, it's just a cover up. And when he said that, I was just really like shocked, because even though he doesn't know me, the fact that he took my comment and then used like who I am as a person to try to insult me, I think more than anything, comments to humble me often always come from men. I've had guys like comment before. I can always tell no woman calls me fat. No woman calls me a B word. Like, none of them go online to harass me. There's only men and boys who do that. And moreover, I've discovered black men and black boys do it the most. It's not done to me like on a daily basis, but I do notice that, like in recent times even, I commented under a video because I liked the concept of the person in the video protecting his partner. I thought that was really sweet. I'm really into certain concepts that's expressed in art. So, for example, like in movies and novels, for example, books, whatever, the concept of yearning really speaks to me. So where there's movies where people are spending time apart and they yearn for each other, or seeing the male in these movies that I love, the guys who go to war and then they come back and they're still yearning for their partner and their partner is there. That's one concept that I love. The concept of a faithful, loving relationship, the concept of supportive parents of an adult child. Those concepts like speak to me, and so protection is one concept that I absolutely love seeing played out in movies, where there's mothers protecting their children, fathers protecting their children, partners protecting each other. So however that dynamic is, partners just protecting each other, that sticks out to me. Siblings, best friends, whatever, people having each other's back. And I think those concepts are deep seated in the things that I have not been able to necessarily receive in times where it was most needed. And so when I saw this one particular video that popped up on my page, on my feed on Instagram, the concept was of like, you know how like some people have these glasses on that have like the camera in them, and they like start talking to people, they'll hit on people, they'll play tricks on people. It's just content. People do everything for content. Those are the types of people that kind of go over and beyond and kind of like invade other people's space to get the content. And that's why they're super, you know, locally famous or online famous, and being paid by these social media platforms, because they actually have stuff that people are like, whoa, you know, it's content. So anyways, I've been getting a lot of that on my feed lately. It's made me feel uncomfortable to see people approach couples, because it's usually this thing where they're like, yeah, I see that you're holding hands with this person, I see that you're hugged up on this person, but let me go and try to make you feel uncomfortable by hitting on your person. That to me is a bit, it's not a bit, it's like actually not good. It's very dense. It's just not good things to do. But This one particular video, it was, I don't know if I could show the video, if that's like stealing content. Is that considered stealing content? I don't know. But I have the video up. It's like on my feed because, or notifications, because people are still liking my comment on that post, on the video. Because I think, let's see, the last time I checked, it was about a little over 3,756. Wait. Okay, I was wrong. 3,758 people liked the comment, okay? So, let's see. So there's a couple. They both look like they're dressed in Halloween costumes. They are in a downtown setting. There's not like many people on these sidewalks. I don't see many people walking at all. It's just them two. They're walking this way. The person comes up. It's dark, by the way. The person comes up behind them and he asks a question. He goes, "What's your red flag? What's your most red flag in a guy," or something? "What's your biggest red flag in a guy?" And the girl, she says, "What did you say?" And she tries to take a step towards the guy, and the boyfriend is what I'm thinking. He's a boyfriend. He kind of like blocks her from, I guess, maybe interacting with the guy, only because, not blocking her from interacting, because he still turned around and like tried to see what the guy was about. But to me, I mean, the way that they did it, he just looks like he's trying to protect her. Like he's trying to be in between them both. So because he's apprehensive, someone is interacting with them at night and from behind. It's not like a face-to-face thing. It's from behind and it's at night. And, you know, like, to me, I took it as, you know, that guy is trying to protect his woman. So all I said underneath the post was, "Love a protector." And I put it in, well, I put an exclamation mark after that. That's all I said. I said, "Love a protector." After I put that, there were people liking my comment. And then this one guy just completely went ham on me. He said that I was an obese. I am an obese bed wench fridge. And also that, what did he say? He said that I look like because I'm gypsy, which is not true because that's a cultural background. I'm African American. Never have I ever tried to parade around like I was gypsy. I don't even look like someone who comes from that background. That's more of like Romney, I think. But he said I'm trying to be a gypsy. I'm trying to be an emo kid and something else. You know, my type of people looks as though they, I don't know, like I look like I'm trying to be with white men or something, which is random. I just don't understand why people are like trying to, like why projecting is like a typical thing. I don't know. I don't think my body type had anything to do with me commenting on what actually happened in the video. I've never gone after somebody for their looks because they have an opinion. I personally see racist comments every day. I reported the comments of him calling me an obese bed wench fridge. Instagram told me that it doesn't go against their community guidelines, so they're not going to do anything in regards to his comments. He was constantly ragging on me about my style. This is a whole nother guy, but he's also doing the same thing. Sometimes these are faceless accounts. Sometimes the guys have their pictures on them. More than anything, men do this to me, but it happened on my YouTube channel. I made a post about moving on from potential ex-partners that no longer, are in your life currently, and what things that you could do. Move on, meet new people. And this another guy, several guys actually, but one guy who had his picture up, he was an older black man, and he was just like, you don't have options, and all these other guys were also saying the same thing. And it's just this weird level of humbling that people try to do constantly, and it makes me absolutely sick. I feel like no matter what, there are always people trying to humble me, and I'm the kind of person that had to go through a lot of stuff in my life to get to a point where now I'm able to self-express in the comfort of my home. I'm not out in public much with makeup on like this. Around Halloween is when I feel like I could be myself. But also if I'm doing a party or a face paint party and they obviously want a clown, I don't do like the blood or any of the black, scary kind of vibe. I usually do really kid friendly, because a lot of people who book me are people who want parties for their kids. So it's something that I know that has limits to it. I don't walk around every day like this, but I love the fact that I can express myself through makeup. And a lot of people have attempted to try to make me feel bad because I love expressing myself in an artistic manner. I've had people try to make me feel like I'm doing something wrong when it comes to being more spiritually based, and looking towards the faith base that my ancestors had, and left behind for me. I've had people that try to make me feel bad about my natural texture. This is how my hair grows out of my head. I don't have anything in it. I don't have any wig. Like, I've had people assume that I'm wearing a wig. I'm not wearing a wig. This is not a wig. This is my actual hair. I'm not adding pieces to it. People are consistently, on a consistent basis, just trying to invalidate me every single time that I am just me. My voice is something that I feel compelled to use because it was something in my childhood and growing up in my teen years and now my adult years that people constantly want to shut me off from having. And it's the weirdest concept ever to look at the world and see them for who they are. People that sort of walk around and parade around as though they're confident are usually the ones that have a shell of who they could have been. These are not people who actually pour into themselves, so much so to the point where they're not making other people feel bad or ruthless, acting ruthless towards them because they're jealous. So, for example, at first I felt bad for the first guy who started attacking me on Facebook and, talking down on me. And then I felt horrible and I said, I was gonna comment something back to get on your level and insult you, but I actually feel really sorry for you because The fact that you're that old, it just shows me, reading between the lines, that you can't stand to see someone flourish. I was validating my experience as being a makeup artist, getting awards for my makeup, inspiring other people with my makeup. And he's like, oh, well, you think makeup is what makes you, and this is fake and that's fake. And I'm thinking, it's not what makes me. It's a tool that I use on my journey of life to express myself. That is powerful. Being in makeup and having the skin color and having my hair texture, knowing that many years back there wasn't even a makeup shade. It was one makeup shade for brown people. And the reason why a lot of your favorite 90s, 80s, 90s black models look really ashy underneath that film, like when they take pictures on the runway. Unfortunately, Naomi Campbell has a lot of photos of herself where her face looks really ashy, like they put white powder on it. They didn't have a lot of shades for black women. They just didn't. So that's why it looks like she dumped her face in baby powder. Unfortunately, that ashy look, it's just not something that we had a lot of. And I feel very proud to be a part of the African American community, specifically because my ancestors, knowing that when we were in this country, we were put on a land that we knew nothing about. I say we, but I am my ancestors, and my ancestors are me. Like, we are one and the same. That's why I feel much honor to currently honor my ancestors. People who were taken from their land, put on another land, and still succeeded. People who were taken from their land and put on another land and still fought back. There are historically countries of people who were in their own domain over a period of time and didn't fight back. Fighting back is something that we are known for. That's why the moment that all this stuff started happening to other groups, targeting other groups of people, the first thing I see online is, where are all the black people? Why aren't you helping us fight? And that was when I was like, really, like, it was an eye-opening experience. You know, a lot of people like to project on me because I am African American. And a lot of people also like to project on me because I'm a woman. And so coming from those two, dynamics, it opens my eyes to a lot of shortcomings within other people, but also within the system. And why today what I do is constantly policed, and it's also political. This water is so good. The way that I wear my hair, I'm going to say it again, political. The way that I parent, political. My lifestyle, political. Everything is political. It's the creepiest thing in the world, but it's what I've been dealt. And so constantly being pulled to and fro from childhood to adulthood, people are constantly just jumping at the chance to give me their thought process. Not even their thought process, just their thoughts. I have no time for people's projections. The projection of guys telling me, oh, I thought you only liked white guys. First of all, preference did take over from the time I was a teenager to my 20s. From, let's say, 15 to 29. I preferred black men. I preferred black boys. I preferred anybody who was black or African. That was my original preference. With that, I discovered that it did not work out the way that I wanted it to. My children's father is first generation American, but is also bilingual, and his family is from Africa, East Africa. So that was 100% my preference. I was completely and utterly unchanged about it. I did not want to date anyone who was not African American or African. Caribbean too. To me, it's like an umbrella. So it's just black is the umbrella, and then underneath Caribbean, African, African American. I have since not closed my preference to just one demographic of men. It's something that I feel like, I don't know, it was something that I did because it was familiar. I saw myself, so why not see myself in someone else? And I think afterwards, after I got older, I kind of just realized that it's about who loves me. That's all that matters. It's about who treats me with respect and dignity, who doesn't want to take away my very essence that originally attracted them to me, who doesn't want to harm me, someone who would only speak life into me, someone who doesn't get upset at my successes, someone who can celebrate my successes and be a person by my side that actually takes my feelings seriously and prioritizes my happiness and my safety. Those are things that matter to me the most. I am a full-grown adult woman, so to me, preference kind of it got thrown out of the window years ago, but I just don't understand the concept of my blackness being a spectrum. Granted, I feel as though I ooze blackness. That's something that I'm not going to shut off. And would I even know how to do that? No, I wouldn't, because it wouldn't be true to myself. I think where it comes from, like where it stems from, is people being insecure about the things that they have compiled in their thoughts that have nothing to do with me. So seeing someone express themselves artistically and believing that they shouldn't have that ability because they are black, to me, is an anti-black trope. It's an anti-black practice to say, I don't think you should be wearing your hair. You need to do your hair. That is, to me, anti-blackness. And usually other black people are the ones that speak to me that way about my hair. I've never had someone speak to me about my hair unless it was through jealousy or asking me what's wrong with your hair after straightening it for some time, due to, obviously, that's the way that family, it's just like you get this thing in your family where it's like, oh, straighten your hair, because everyone has internalized racism or texturism or colorism around you. And then I grew up and was just like, I don't even give a fuck. Like, please leave me alone. This is how my hair grows. Usually people who are constantly having issue with my hair are missing their edges. My thing is, if there is more like concentration on a natural black woman in her essence than chemicals being poured on your brain, it's not weighing the same. Personally, I enjoy celebrating each and every black woman that takes that stand when they get their fucking locks. That is goddess status. I don't even know if I would ever lock my whole head, but I would want to, but it's just something about my fro I'm not going to be able to let go. I just can't. And maybe that's something that I'll do in the future, but I do have a nod. I have a small little nod towards getting locks because this is my lock. But And it actually getting up there, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, I just believe that it's a better thing to not want to restrict someone who is black in what they do. Their level of creativity is not something that we should box. I feel like we have so many creative and amazing artists that were born in the 50s and 60s and 70s and even 80s, the 40s. Like, we have been a suppressed people. It doesn't make sense to then go and say, well, I see another black person and they're expressing themselves incorrectly, so let me try to chop their heads off or make them feel bad. Figuratively is what I'm saying, not chop their heads off, but like the concept of chopping someone's head off is that they have no thoughts. So let me make them feel bad. Let me tell them all these horrible things that I think about them, even though I don't know them, even though I'm supposed to be pro-black. How then are you pro-black if you're telling another black person that they cannot express themselves the way that they want to artistically or I don't know, style-wise, just in their life? People show up differently. Being authentic to yourself is the most important thing you could ever do. And I feel like that's something that has been challenged for such a long time. Not only has my blackness been on a spectrum, I mean, I could be single and people would still say these things to me, and I'm so shocked because I'm like, okay, well, how are these things, like, where are they coming from? Is it a place of these are things that you really see, or is it you're making things up because you're upset that I'm doing something that you don't like? Either way, it's not something that I want to spend time, I guess, trying to figure out fully. I think it's just where I'm gonna be more able to change like my settings on my apps where it's like no one can mention you. But then it sucks because some of my friends, they do want to mention me on there for giveaways or, oh, I want you to see this kind of thing. And you could tag a friend below and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's a really odd thing. It's not something that I'm new to. This has been happening for years. Middle school, really, as a kid, like, adults would be like, oh, you're gonna be this and you're gonna be that. And that's kind of why I don't do that to children. And if I do, I always tell them, like, you're gonna be the best. Like, if they tell me, oh, I want to be a teacher, or if they say, yeah, I think I want to be, I want to go to school and be a gymnast. And I'll say, well, you're going to be the best gymnast I know because I know you're going to take it serious. And you're going to actually take your classes and you're going to study and you're going to do this and you're going to work hard because you're really smart. Those are the times that I tell children that they are going to do something, but it's not really a projection. I feel like it's something that I'm trying to rise them to the occasion of feeling as though they're good enough, because in this world it's very typical of people to have a gift and then be afraid to express it. And the reason is because it's so easy to crumble yourself underneath this system, especially if you are a demographic of people who are expected to just be nothing. As a black woman, I have found that the projections come from left and right. I wouldn't say that it matters until it's with my own community. And it's a bit annoying when Hispanic people do it to me. It's happened before, but I'm not shocked. I just kind of ignore it or brush it off. But it's specifically hurtful when things that are being said to me by faces that I can identify with are trying to suppress me and have actually a similar sound like white supremacists. You know, telling me that you can't do something because of your race. I was told because I had a family member who was extremely artistic naturally and wanted to go and be a model and be a fashion designer. They were told, we don't travel, you know, you're black, so you need to get real. Fashion is not a real job. It's not a real career. Get real with yourself. And that's something that's always hurt me because it's close to home. And this is something that I've often admired in this person growing up. When I was younger, I remember the Vogue magazines laying around with notes in them. She had the best cursive handwriting, and she would write fabulous or sophistication or just like all of these little notes. And I was thinking, like, when I grew up, I was like, this is what an editor does. Like when you have an ad campaign or some, you know, collage of models and the way that you want them to look, you're writing notes in them, and the editors and the people behind the magazine. And I wish that they would have went for their dream, because I know my life would have been different. But that's why I don't allow my family to stop me now. I've been told that something's mentally wrong with me because I want to do makeup like this. I've been told that I'm living in La La Land, or I'm in a daydream, because I love dolls. I love reading books that have fantasy themes in them, and I love putting on elf ears and going to the Renaissance Festival and making videos with extravagant makeup, and because I paint and I express myself. But at the same time, I don't know how to fully function without doing those things. If I stop those things, I feel as though my mental health will take a dive, because I have to create. It's something that I can't help but to do. Speaking of creating, I painted this, I think sometime last year. I don't have a year on it, so I can't even say. But I did paint this. This is a painting that I did in response to being sexually assaulted several times. And the word no is on her shoulder. She is crying tears of blood, and the tears of blood represent the things that have happened to her. She does have a clown hat on, and she still has a face full of makeup, beautiful hair. Her hair has gray hairs in them and also black, and she is the concept of being broken and used, but having to still perform, because she still looks beautiful through the blood, through the sadness. She still has a very beautiful look to her, and it's just the concept of femininity and blackness all in one for me. And when I painted it, I of course had myself in mind. Myself was pretty much the center of this painting. I kind of had, I kind of had a hard time at the end of this looking at it, because the eyes look more real to me than anything else. She was never able to say no. She didn't know boundaries. She didn't know what those were. And the word no on her shoulder is something that she's always had there. It's just so simple. You can use it, but she was never able to actually find the word no. And so, I don't know. I don't know if I never painted this, would I ever be able to come to grips with previous abuse. I don't think about it in a sad way anymore, whereas it used to be sad for me. But the more that I express myself and I'm able to paint and I'm able to do I feel whole. It's sort of like, I guess, a political way of dealing with injustice. So as well as for my spiritual journey. Um, my spiritual journey means a lot to me. Honoring my ancestors means a lot to me. I can't imagine going through life in the religious mindset that I was raised to have. I can't imagine that. At some point, there was going to be a break where I needed to fully heal. And I don't think because I express myself differently that my blackness should be questioned. I feel like it may not be the same for everyone. Everyone likes to express themselves differently. Some people take pride in their natural selves. Some people don't. And I'm very aware that the hair industry has my black women in a chokehold. Black women fund these people's lifestyles like nobody's business. Constantly purchasing hair of other humans. And as someone who's spiritual, having someone else's hair is that's a deep move. That's a really deep move. And then putting it on your head. Your head is like that's who you are. I know people say the heart is, but your head is where your thoughts come out, where you hear, where you see, where you speak. Like, I don't know. It's odd to me. That concept honestly is odd. Now I have worn synthetic wigs before, for like dress up and things like that, but it's not something that I do to where, like I've seen documentaries and stuff on women who are in the African American community that cannot go a day without a wig. I've experienced it in person where I used to work at the Barnes and Noble Starbucks Cafe, and the girl that I was working with wore the ugliest like wig that was matted. It was brown. It was so unattractive. And she started talking to me about natural hair because I have my natural hair. And I was like, well, why don't you just take it off? She was like, well, I want to. And she shows me a picture of her with her natural hair. Oh my God, she was banging. It instantly cleared her looks to like, oh my God, I can really see your beauty. And I was begging her, please take it off. It was like the one that you just wear on top of your head, even though it's like matted and it looks like people have been playing with it and you can't comb through it. It's like one of those wigs, but she was absolutely gorgeous. She had a Bantu knot out and it was like really pretty and wavy. Her hair was thick, healthy, and I was just like, this is what society wants black women to believe, that we are not shit. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to bend to that thought process. I've had plenty of abusive relationships where they were trying to force me into believing that I'm not shit. I'm sorry, I'm not going to bow a knee to that. I've had plenty of white supremacists in the system make me, well, not make me, but try to make me feel as though, oh, let's make her feel horrible because of what she is or who she is. I don't care. I'm not going to live my life in a state of looking for other people's validation or their answers so that I can then go and do what everybody wants me to do. It makes me happy to do this. I'm happy as an artist. I'm happy to express myself. I'm happy to live out my journey as full as I can. And I'm just hoping that if you are wondering on your end, like, wow, how can I get this mindset? You have to literally force yourself. That's all. Just force yourself. At the end of the day, you can do it. It's just you making that decision. You just literally have to put it in your head. I am who I am. I'm going to date who I want. I'm going to be who I want. I'm going to go wherever I want. Because the moment that you let people stop you, you will then start to become who they are. The crabs in a barrel mentality is not far-fetched. I saw it growing up when someone told me not to move to Atlanta to go, because I wanted to go to Atlanta to get my art career going. Atlanta was extremely artistic, and I went once and I didn't want to come back. I was like, holy crap, I think I want to go. I think I want to live there. And the moment I told that family member, they told me not to go. No, don't go. Guilt tripped me and everything. Crabs in a barrel mentality is real. It happens in workplaces. I don't care what racial background. Workplaces, especially family. I could tell you many times with family, when they see you have potential and you have creativity and you are innovative and you are motivated and you have a sense of self, that's the easiest time to know the people around you want to plot on you. They want to, because they don't want to see you flourish and leave. These old school mentality mindsets are what keeps people in the dump. You don't want to be in the dump. You want to flourish and fly. Life is really, really short. So hopefully what I said helped you to be able to understand that you don't want this. You know what this is, but you want that and you want to go towards that. That's all. So either way, I appreciate you for watching. And please, please don't hesitate to comment down below. I'm getting really lonely in the comment section. You guys used to like really fill it up, and I felt like a sense of family, or at least friendship. So if you want to talk about anything, just put it down below. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for stopping by my neck of the woods today. Love you so much. Mwah.